Unit 4 is the last unit of our curriculum, and we're going to learn about loops. Minecraft is a program that your students may be familiar with and is a good example for explaining how loops can be used. In Minecraft, you can select different types of blocks, such as the grass blocks in this example, then click on the field and add the blocks to the field. If the field is very large, you would have to repeat this action of clicking the field many times to add enough blocks to fill the field. This repeated action can also be done by using a computer program with a loop. You can instruct the computer using the loop command to add 6 grass blocks with just one click rather than having to click 6 times. This is code that computer programmers use all the time to make programs run faster. So what is a loop? A loop is a sequence of instructions that is repeated. The instructions can have just one action or a sequence of actions. To create a loop in Scratch, we use the repeat loop block. This can be found in the orange control category in Scratch, and the block looks a little like a dinosaur head. The repeat loop block has 2 parts, the white circle, or the dinosaur's eye, and the middle part, the dinosaur's mouth. In the middle part, the mouth, you add the action blocks that will be repeated. Remember, this can be either one block or a sequence of blocks. In the circle, the eye, you type in how many times the action blocks should be repeated. It is important that the blocks that will be repeated are inside the dinosaur's mouth. If they are outside of the repeat loop block, either above or below, these actions will not be repeated. Here are some examples. In this first loop, there is one action, the sound snare drum, that will repeat 10 times. In the second loop, the sounds of the piano note C and the piano note E will be repeated 6 times. When there is more than one block in a loop, the blocks will repeat in the order that they are listed. So in this second loop, the sounds CE, 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 CE will be repeated 6 times. In the last loop, we have 1 block out inside and 2 blocks outside the loop. Which of these blocks do you think will be repeated? Correct. Only the piano note G will be repeated because that is the only block inside the repeat loop. The switch costume and change color actions will only happen once because they are outside the repeat loop block. This is something to emphasize with your students, as they don't always understand that blocks need to be inside the repeat loop in order to be repeated. Tell your students they can follow along in their student workbooks on page 44. Here are 2 partial scripts. These 2 partial scripts perform the same actions. Which script is easier to read, the one on the left or the one on the right? If you chose the script on the right, you are correct. Why is it easier to read? Because there are fewer blocks. These 2 scripts run exactly the same actions, but the one on the right with the repeat loop block is shorter, runs faster, and is much easier to understand. It also doesn't take up as much space as the script on the left. Which script do you think would be easier to write? Correct, the one on the right, because there are fewer blocks needed to create the script. Here are two other partial scripts that also do the same thing. The loop on the left has the sprite change to the next costume, then wait 1 second. This is repeated 2 times. The code on the right shows these actions without using a loop. The sequence of blocks that is repeated 2 times is next costume, wait 1 second, next costume, wait 1 second. It does not repeat next costume, then wait 1 second, wait 1 second. This is important to note. We have found through our observations that some students think that each action block is repeated multiple times before the next action block is repeated in the sequence. Make sure to have your students explain what will happen in these 2 scripts and understand that the sequence repeats, not the individual blocks. In this lesson, your students will play scratch charades, similar to what was played in Unit 1, except they'll have new script cards that include the repeat loop block in order to practice this concept. Here we have another example of a loop with action blocks both inside and outside the loop. The go-to block and the glide block will only happen 1 time since they are both outside the repeat loop block. The play sound moo block will repeat 3 times since it is inside the repeat loop block. The actions will run in order from the first block, go to the last block, glide, as is shown on the right-hand script. Now it is time for scratch charades. With the new script cards that include repeat loops. Teachers, hopefully you still have the envelope of cutout scratch blocks that you used with scratch charades in Unit 1. You will need to print out a new set of script cards that have outlines in red and yellow. Let's do a quick demonstration of how to play scratch charades. Teachers, make sure not to display the next slide to the entire class, as it has the script that the actor will act out. Only allow the director and the actor to view it on your computer. I need 2 people to volunteer to be the actor and the director. Everyone else in class will be the script builders. The director and the actor will look at the script. The director will see what's going to be acted out and make sure that the actor does the actions correctly. And the actor will act out the actions on the script. Everyone else will be the builders, and you can use your workbooks to create the scripts that the actor acts out. Once the actor acts out the script and the builders have had enough time to construct the script, I will ask for volunteers to read out their script that matches the actions. Let's try it. Teachers, after a few minutes, ask for volunteers to read out their scripts, then display the script on the next slide. Remember the point in direction blocks? You will have the 4 direction signs up on the 4 walls in the classroom for 0, 90, 180, and -90. If you are the actor and your script has one of these blocks, you need to point with your finger and turn your body to face the sign with that direction number. Let's stand up and practice one. If I put The 0 sign in the front of the classroom and the 180 sign in the back of the classroom. And right now you are facing the front of the classroom, and your script has the block point in direction 180. What do you do? Great. You all turned around and pointed to the back of the classroom where the 180 sign was. Okay, let's try another one. Now, point in direction 0. Excellent. Now you are all facing forward again and pointing at the sign that says 0. Let's practice a few other blocks. Show me how you would change size by 10. Great. Either stand up on your tiptoes or spread your arms out wide. Now go back to your normal size. Now show me change size by -10. Fantastic. Either squat down or squish your body close together. Now don't change your size. What would you do if I said change size by 10? Right, you'd go back to your normal size. In your groups of 4 people, you will take turns being the director, the builders, or the actor. There will be 1 actor, 1 director, and 2 builders. The director watches the actor to make sure the actor acts out all the actions on the script correctly. And the actor acts out all the code blocks that are in the script. The builders work together to build the script. These are the code blocks that you will have in this version of Scratch Charades. When green flag clicked, the actor holds up the green flag card and the director taps on the green flag card to start the action. When this sprite clicked, the director will tap the actor on the shoulder to start the actions. The repeat loop is in 2 parts so that the builders can add the action blocks inside the repeat loop. The rest of the blocks are the same as what you used when you played Scratch Charades in Unit 1. You will have yellow outlined and red outlined cards. Complete the yellow cards before the red cards. Let's review the instructions. Put all the scratch blocks, the green flag card, the hello bubble, face up on the table. The actor picks a yellow script card without letting the builders see it. The actor acts out the script on the card, and the director makes sure that the actions are correct. The builders put the blocks together to build the script based on the actor's actions. When the builders are finished, the director checks their script and lets them know if they need to debug their script. When the script is correct, everyone changes roles in your team and you play again with a new script card. When the students have finished playing Scratch Charades, 20, 25 minutes, or whatever you feel is good for them to understand the concept of the repeat loop, if there's time, you can have them try the turn and talk. Why would we want to use a repeat block? Good answers would be fewer blocks are needed, it's easier to read, and it runs faster. You can then introduce them to Developer Relations Engineer, Andrew Zalivar, and run the video. Based on what they saw in the video, ask your students to identify the statements that are true. Additionally, you can have your students either journal about or discuss the two questions on the last slide.